Hi there, my name is John Laswell, and I'm starting a new bluegrass series called Bluegrass and Me. I'm from Owensboro, Kentucky, and I got interested in bluegrass through a number of things. One of the most important things was actually meeting Earl Scruggs. I had decided needed to learn to play a banjo and wasn't getting very far at that time. And I thought if I could meet that man, it would be amazing. I was going to school at Murray State University, and I was really surprised to see that the Earl Scruggs Review was going to be playing a concert at Murray. And it turns out that the event promoter, his name was Alan Wright. Alan was walking around on campus, and I had just recently done a banjo commercial playing music for a bicycle company out of Michigan, and Alan had me do that in his studio. So I thought maybe he'll do me a favor, and then I can get a chance to meet the legend of all time on the banjo. And I was excited about that possibility. I saw Alan and spoke to him. I said, "Is there any way we can make that happen?" And he said, "Gosh, Sean, I don't know. I can't promise anything." I said, "Well, I understand, but regardless, I thought I'm going to be there. I'm going to watch Earl, and if I get to meet him, that's just extra good." So I was in the front row, dead center, ready to watch Earl. I was right in front of his mic. And then I saw Alan on stage, and he looked and saw me and said, "Come up here." And he had me go up on stage, and I walked back behind this curtain. He opened the door, and there was Earl playing his banjo. And I was so thankful. I just turned around and said, "Thank you, thank you." And I was beyond belief that I was going to have this chance. I had been trying to learn this song called Soldier Joy that he had played on this album, and I just could not get it. It really came down to this chord. You place your fingers on the neck to play the chord, and then move your finger on the fourth string to get this moving bass note. And it was too big of a stretch, and I wanted to see how he was able to do that. So I introduced myself. He was very, very nice, and I mentioned the song. Can you show me how to play Soldier's Joy? And Earl said, "Son, I don't think I know that song." And I said, "Well, you played it on this Circle Be Unbroken album by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band." And he said, "Really? I don't recall that song. I'm sorry." And I said, "Well, it was just you and John McEwen." And so he said, "Oh, I think you're talking about a song I know as Old Folks." He said, I think that's the song you're talking about. Yes, I can show you how to play that." So he played it, and when I saw him do it, I said, "Oh my gosh, that's so much easier." He did not place the fingers on the neck for the chord. All he did was move that one finger on the bass string, and I said, "That's so much easier." And it was like a life-changing moment for me to finally see how in the world he was doing that, and it sounded great, and it worked. And also his son, Gary, was there, and we got to talking a bit. And Gary showed me how to play a song he did on that same album, an instrumental of the song called Both Sides Now. And it turns out on that song, I had the tuning right except for one string. He had retuned several strings, but I had retuned the first string to a D, and he did not. And that made, again, the song much easier, and I was so pleased to learn that as well. And Earl and I had a really nice long chat. The band that was opening for them was called the Arnold Chin Band. I was the founding member of that band, and they were from Owensboro, and I was planning to watch them play, but of course, given the choice of being with Earl or listening to Arnold Chin, it was not a tough call. I was going with the legend on the banjo for sure. But anyway, we had a lot of nice chat, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, his wife Louise looked right at me and said, "I'll tell you one thing." And I said, "What's that?" She said, "When it comes time to leave and go back to Nashville, I'm going on the bus with the boys. I am not going to fly in that plane with Earl." And he laughed, and I said, "Well, what is the reason? What's the matter with the plane?" And she said, "Well, his instrument panel, the lights go out, and he has to use a flashlight to point it there to see the instrument panel, and I'm just not going to go with him." And he laughed, and he said, "That doesn't happen that often." And so it was kind of a funny moment. We all kind of chuckled and played some more banjo, talked some more. A lady actually took my picture playing Earl's banjo, and I begged, please get me a copy of that. It would mean the world to me. And she said, absolutely, I will do that. And I said, here's my address. Please, please, please send that to me. And of course, she never did. But anyway, I did have a wonderful time. It was a life-changing moment for me. And I just couldn't imagine anything better. So that was, one of many things that happened through my years with bluegrass. One thing that I did was I got into doing the workshops for an organization called IBMA, where I had all the best of the musicians on my stage at one time or another. In fact, Earl was on my stage one time on a special tribute for Earl Scruggs. So these are things that I think might be of interest. If you like this kind of thing, I'll be doing a series, I believe I'll call it Bluegrass and Me. And it'll just be kind of my experiences with bluegrass music. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you want to see more of these videos, please like the video, please make a comment. And if I see that there's interest, I'll definitely continue a series with some of the amazing stories that happened during my years as a workshop coordinator. I also then went on to do workshops for the Romp Festival held in Owensboro, Kentucky, ROMP, Romp, River of Music Party. And actually that's going on this coming weekend, and I will be there. I'm not doing the workshops there anymore, but I will be there. Hope we can cross paths. If you're there and you enjoy this, be sure and let me know. And we'll keep them coming as long as I see there's interest to do this series. Thank you, and you have a great day.